It's really to tell.
Hello guys, welcome back to my YT channel. This is again your YouTube content creator, your SM influencer, social media influencer. Okay, I'm Engineer Sotero Nepomuceno Jr. who loves to blog about English language also. Okay, remember that the major important subjects that we have all over the world are science, mathematics, and English. Okay, there's no other. Others are only additional and additive or add-ons, just like if you will try to go into Jollibee or any fast food or KFC, there are what we call the add-ons in our ordered meals. So it's additive only. Or for example, if you try to put that into the context of buying beverage liquids like that, for example, so it's gonna be a juice in a pack in a bottle, then there is an additive sugar, meaning additional only, but not really the real requirement for the essence of the nutritious value of the particular product. You got a point? So things like that. So again, this is your English tutor, Sotero, your Lulu Junjun, as usual, at your service for today. Okay, our topic for today, okay, so it's very clear in my description. It's very clear in my distract. No, okay. It's very clear, right, guys? Okay. So let's. I have here my yellow pad because every day I have to write all the some of the vocabulary in which I found that is very profound and very deep, and I have to convert that into simpler words in which I can understand so that I can use that also in my reporting and my speaking ability during my vlog. Okay, we get the point. Things like that. So my title reading in my vlog for today is Stop Using Very in our speaking ability, in our public speech or in communication. Wow, so you love to use very like that, right? Every time, and there's a lot of very's. So it looks like you will develop a disease called beriberi, the lack of vitamin B, right? The deficiency of vitamin B would develop a disease known as beriberi. But the first letter is letter B, not letter V. But I'm saying very, all right? So for the purpose of, additive of humor a little bit, right? Okay, so we have here, so I have to write so that we can remember. Okay, so I use pencil so that it will be easily erased if I got mistakes, things like that. Okay, so by the way, guys, last night I've made an essay, so like that. So I was interested really. Okay, last night. Okay, so I have here. So where's my yellow pad, guys? Okay, Chinese. Shout out to my previous teachers in English. We have Sir Lumaran, the late Sir Lumaran, and also the late Sir Diaz, and as well as Ma'am Caniere, okay, our English teacher in fourth year high school, yes, and Ma'am Alferis as well. Get the point, things like that. I did not remember my English teacher when I was in elementary. Okay, sorry, just only in high school and also in college. Okay, but I don't remember the name of that girl. She is very eloquent in our speech class, and also the other teachers of our technical report and writing. So she is very comprehensive also in her discussion. Okay, so what I found out really, most of our English teachers are very good in discussion, right? But if you try to shift to another academic subjects, let's say math, they are not able to perform well in their discussion, right? Not all, but some of them cannot elaborate more. Things like that. They just love to solve like that, but they cannot, explain comprehensively in an elaborative manner. Okay, you get the point. So I don't know why. It's beyond my comprehension, actually. Maybe they don't take education units, the effective method of professional education, the prof ed. Okay, because it's in there, they will be able to teach how to do it effectively. Okay, apart from knowing you have your visual aids, For example, the whiteboard, the green board, the projector, the computer, the laptop, then it's gonna like teaching the effective way of discussion in a class. I think this the only missing. I think so. Okay, because if you ask them one by one, they are engineers. You don't take units in education. Ask them one by one. You can only count few who have masterals in taking education units because that's a requirement. If you really want to teach, okay, with having PhDs like that, you get the point? Or doctor in teaching science like that, doctor in teaching management, engineering, things like that, or MBA, right? Masters of Business and Administration. So at least you have units in, how to teach effectively, things like that, or professional education units. I'm not saying that you need to study back BS education, but at least you must have the units because it's in there. There's a profound way how to teach properly and comprehensively like that so that your students and pupils can understand what you are talking, what you are discussing, because it looks like unsystematized. Okay, especially some of our, I'm not really saying all, but some. Okay, some of them, especially the top notchers, not all also. Shout out to engineer Stephen Flores because Stephen Flores is very good in discussion. Shout out Sir Flores. So he is our, stoichiometry instructor and our chemical calculation instructor. He did his best very well to teach comprehensively. Okay? But the others, I don't know. Okay, you get the point. So, and he is also our teacher in CHE elective. Okay, theory, principles, and concepts regarding elective. Okay, so it's very good, right? And he's also my mentor outside from the room. Okay, what I mean, he is also our instructor. But I will find time to meet him in a one-on-one conversation because I want to learn, especially math, about problem solving because it's not my strength, things like that. So every time I have an assignment for stoichiometry or calculations or even the chemical reaction engineering kinetics, I will really confront to him and ask guidance, sir, what can we do for this? Okay? See, Sir Engineer Stephen Flores. He's a magna cum laude, I think, batch 1997 in CIT University. Okay, things like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, now, so these are very, very, avoid using very, very, huh? Okay, you get the point. So our first word for today is stop using the words very old. Wow. Right? For example, oh, I'm very old. I can easily forget what others might to say because I cannot remember things like that. So you instead of using very old, you will use ancient. Okay. Well, ancient is the single word for very old, right? And our second word will be very often like that. So if you do it continuously without interruption and progression, things like that, and very continuous manner, incessantly, steadfastly, consistently, like that, without interruption. So it's gonna be very often, right? Okay, very likely, things like that. So very frequently. Okay, so you need to use the word frequently. Okay, frequently. Okay, not very often. Others pronounce this as often, and others also often. Okay, silent T. Okay, others may sound differently. First, often, and others also often, like that. Okay, but we are not really on the pronunciation because we have two English types, right? The British and the American English. So we are more on the grammar and the vocabulary, right? It's okay. I just leave that to you to research how it sounds. Okay, for the often or often. Okay, so very often or very often is frequently. So You will save space also and ink. If you will use one word in your thesis, in your feasibility study, like that, or in your essay, or in your report, or written report, for example, if you are reporting for a certain topic, then it will minimize your brevity or your number of words. Okay, if you use only one word instead of 3 words, 2 words, like that. Okay? Then number 3, we have very open. Wow. So the expenses liquidation are very transparent. Okay? Are transparent. You will never say very open, but transparent. One word only, transparent. Okay, very open. Oh, he has a transparent personality. Okay, didn't hide for something. That is his true colors, by the way. And I really appreciated that. Wow, marvelous. Things like that. Okay, we need to say very open, transparent. You will use the word, one word, transparent only. Okay, get the point. Number 4. Okay, I have here very powerful. Okay, so with the meaning of very powerful, then it's gonna be like compelling. Okay, he has a compelling ability. Okay, very powerful. Compelling, COMPLLING. Compelling. We need to stress the spelling because if your spelling is wrong, you don't have correct answers, right? Okay. And then number 9, this is strange, really. This is strange. Very pain. If you encountered a person who suffered from leukemia, meaning the deficiency of white blood cells, that's leukemia, right? And there is more of the hemoglobin or the red blood cells. That's why he is very sick. Like that, he has extreme illness because his white blood cells are overpowered by the red blood cells, because the job of our white blood cells is to prevent body's infection. Since the white blood cells are less compared to the red blood cells, he will develop a disease called leukemia. Okay, leukemia. So he is now very, very pale, right? So if you are very, very pale, then oh, you have a jaundice. You have an initial guess that he has the jaundice, meaning the paling of the skin. If it turns yellowish, that's the medical term. There is jaundice, Jaundice. Okay, so very pale like that. The lips are not really red at all. And then also the skin, right? So very pale. P-E-L-E. Not the pale na bucket na P-A-I-L, ha? Pale. So if very pale, this is ashen. Very strange, right? Oh, he was so ashen today. I doubt he has a disease like that. Okay, so things like that. So ashen means very pale. Okay, now we go to perfect. Okay, oh, very perfect. So if there's already perfection, there's also very perfect. Okay. Actually, if you try to be strict, this is the wrong grammar, right? But you know, in informal language, sometimes the native speakers or whatever, what do you call this one, then they will speak also in contrast to the grammar accuracy, and it's acceptable. It looks like acceptable. For example, I will say, "What's the matter?" Thing like that. Okay, so you have to contract the what and s, and what is the matter, right? So things like that. What's the matter? You get the point? So you will say, what is the matter? It would be very good to listen, right? So sometimes we contract like that every time. Okay, so how have you been? Oh, things like that. How have you been? Oh, look, how have you been? Okay, you get the point. So there's a contraction also with you've. Okay, you get the point. Things like that. So very perfect. I don't like this one really, but it's okay because based on the research, it's also an example. It looks like because it's already perfection, there's no No need to put very actually. Okay, but this is only informal language, I think so. Very perfect meaning flawless. Okay, so we often heard this word in commercials, in advertisement like that, or in media, things like that, or in a simple conversation or whatever, or producing a product promotion of the products like that. Okay, so flawless. Okay, you will say, please buy this melatonin hormone pack because it will help your skin to be flawless. Like that, okay? Things so it can be used also, right? So for the purpose of discussion only. Okay, got the point. So number 11, we have very painful. Okay, like that. Okay. So how can I say this? Very painful is excruciating. Oh, I love it. Excruciating. Okay. So it looks like very elegant, right? When you use these words. Oh, that was so excruciating. Upon knowing that my classmate before in college was already died. Things like that. Okay? So excruciating meaning very painful. Okay, instead of using very and painful, then you can have excruciating. So spelling is Excruciating. Okay, things like that. Okay, number 12. Charot. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Actually, we mean a very good. There's a lot of similar words to use, right? But you know, in formal language, you have to use the most nearest term perfect for that. Okay? For example, sometimes we will use excellent, right? But actually, the superlative of very good is not excellent. Okay? Sorry. That's outstanding. Okay, outstanding. But sad to say, not sad to say because I think it's okay also. It depends on the way how we interpret things, right? So very good. Diba? We say good. Okay, when we do the appraisal of anything like a performance in the job, or let's say if we are having the what do you call this one survey for the particular candidate in an election campaign, whatever, or if we try to do the survey of a certain products, then if they are opening very newly opening fast food like that, and they will submit papers for the assessment, right? There will be a good, fair like that, poor, fair, good, very good. Okay, and then excellent the last, right? So actually, we may also use outstanding instead of excellent. Okay, because that is very good. Okay, like that. Outstanding. Okay. Okay, you get a point. Things like that. Number 13. Actual akong susulat guys ha. Number 13. Okay, we have here very long. Okay, very long. What's that about? Very long. Okay. Junjun has a very long experience in occupational safety and health. It runs to 20 years from 2007 to 2023. Things like that. So what is very long in one word? Okay, so this is normally used in advertisement also of a job in classified ads. Okay, things like that. For example, we need a recruitment manager with 11 years of experience, things like that. But they will never say 11 years, but rather they will state it generally. They will say extensive experience in blah blah blah. Okay, so meaning extensive, long years. Okay, like that of experience. So when we say very long, that is extensive. Okay, you get the point. So like that. Okay, Junjun has an extensive ability in singing. For example, because I'm starting singing when I was a kid and until now. So it's long years. Okay, having inborn talent, then they will hone that until the present, at the present times. Okay, get the point. So it's extensive. And now we go to number 14. So we go to very big. Okay, very big. What's very big? You will say, you will attempt to use the fat, the obesity, right? If you say big. Okay, but this is not only to the size of the person. Okay, or you will say upsize like that. Okay, upsize meaning very big also. Okay, you get the point? Ganon. So, it's very big. So, this is gonna be enormous. Enormous. Okay, you get the point. Very big. Oh, that was so enormous. It's so enjoyable to ride on that enormous Ferris wheel that I haven't tried for the rest of my life. Things like that. For example, you will go to a ride playground, for example, just like an amusement park where there's a lot of or numerous or several or plenty of rides there. There's a Ferris wheel, there's a caterpillar, blah blah blah, so and so, and then oh my gosh, that was so enormous. This is very like that. Okay, so example only, right? Okay, that's very big, enormous. Okay, like that. Number 15. Okay. So, for example, this is really very small. Okay, very small. So instead of using very small, what is the one word for that? Think of a word that is only one word that is equivalent to very small. Okay, you may tempted also to use minute. You will say also sometimes tiny, things like that, right? Or what else? Referring to very small. Okay, there's a lot, right? But we cannot think easily for now. But when writing, we can write a lot. That's only the difference between writing and speaking. You can have so many ideas in writing rather than speaking. You get the point? Okay, trust me. Okay, things like that. You get the point. So it's very small meaning petite. Okay, petite. Okay, this is not familiar, right? Petite. Oh, you're so petite. You cannot even reach the window to see the beauty of our nature, how wonderful the nature that God gave to us. So splendid, immeasurable. Oh, I love it, really. Things like that, okay? So, petite, right? Because you are very small. So you're having the quality of a dwarfism, a genetic factor to those people who are born in a dwarfism character or behavior or appearance, right? Dwarfism, just like a dwarf. Okay, you got the point? So, like this, petite. Okay, but be careful to use the word dwarfism because it will insult that kind of people. So, we opted to use another term for that. That is sounding elegant or elite or, so professional. Let's just like this. Oh, you're so petite. Like that. So, the sound really is an advantage in effect, right? Rather than saying you are so you're dwarfism, because the word dwarf really is a bad thing. You get the point? So you have to be extra careful in using the word also when you describe something, especially if it is negativity adjectives. You get the point? Ganon. Okay, guys. Okay, number 16 we have very fancy. Okay, very fancy. Oh, I don't like that guy because almost all his statements are so fancy, very fancy. I cannot understand. It looks like futile, superficial in nature, in which I always be perplexed when he said something in front of me. Things like that. Okay? So meaning to say, very fancy meaning lavish. 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 Oh, I don't like him. His principle in life is so lavish. He loves to go different parties all his entire life. Then it looks like no meaning at all. He's a happy-go-lucky person. It's so lavish. I don't love it. Really? Oh, sorry for that. like that. Okay, so lavish meaning very fancy, right? Okay, number 17. Okay, there's a lot. Okay, like this. So this is very fast. Okay, very fast. Okay, so usually refers to the motion, refers to the movement, refers to the acceleration, refers to the velocity, or refers to a motion with corresponding distance covered. If you try to put this in a context of physics, okay, things like that. You get the point? So, very fast. Okay. What is the one word for this? This is very common. This is the one brand of beef loaf, meat loaf, corned beef, and it is so sikat in the Philippines, popular and renowned also in equivalent in degree with pure foods. Okay, like that. And what else? So many brands, right? So this is Swift. SWIFT. Swift means very fast. Okay, he swiftly vanished from my sight. I don't know. Maybe he has an important appointment in which he just don't tell me, but actually he just vanished immediately, swiftly. Oh, like that. Okay, so we need to say very fast, swift. I use this as an adverb because I qualify the verb. Okay, if you qualify a verb, then you need an adverb to do that. You get the point. For example, I deliciously prepared exquisite food for my father because I love my father that much. Without him, I am also not relevant and very useless in this contemporary world, and I must owe my life to him. That's why I will prepare very exquisite food for him. So I will deliciously prepare exquisite food to him. Any question? Right. For example, you are talking to other members of your family, things like that, you know, brothers, sisters, like that. Then you are acting so very appreciative. Wow, I use appreciate in a adjective manner, huh? Appreciative. Okay. Okay. Things like this, you can easily use a word in which you don't practice normally. Okay. I don't use that before. Okay, but it depends on the sentence you are using kasi, right? So, appreciative. Wow. Okay, got the point. So, you are really appreciating for somebody else. Like that. You are complimenting and enormously appreciating. You got the So, I use also the enormous as an adverb, right? Enormously. Enormously complimenting to somebody else. Like that. You get the point? So sometimes this can be used also in an adverb, extensively, enormously, petitely, things like lavishly. Oh, right? Oh, I don't like to the way he talked because he lavishly put words even though not coherent at all. Lavishly, right? He lavishly put words together even though not coherent at all, meaning not no logical, not logical, not connected with each other, and there's no sense at all. That's what we mean of coherent. You get the point? Or no cohesion. The flow is staggered or intermittent. There's no straightforward full sense, and you opted to think of another thing which is not linked to the particular sense of that sentence she used. Right? Okay, get the point. So it's gonna be like that. Okay, so that is very fancy, lavish, and very fast, swift. Okay, swift. Okay, like that. Okay, number 18 we have. Okay, very towering. Wow. How can we do this? Very towering. Okay, you get the point? Very towering, right? Okay. Okay. So one word for this is tower meaning tall, right? It talks about the vertical height. So towering, that's what we mean by very tall. Okay, we mean of a tower, then that's very high. So if you say very tall, you can use also towering. Okay, you get the point. You get the point. So it's not common, right? Okay. So you will say, oh, that's a towering floor. I cannot go there because it's so tedious and strenuous for me to do that. I'm not very healthy. That's why it's not my preference to go to that floor. Because it's too towering. Things like towering meaning very tall, okay, or very high, things like that. It's just the same thing because we're referring to a vertical distance, right? When you mean of tall, that's vertical. That's talking about the height or how high is that. You got a point? So it's not the horizontal distance or the horizontal distance. Okay, but guys, please correct me if I'm wrong. The I and he, first of all, I will say advertisement and then advertisement. Okay, this chupa chuchu is horizon, things like that. It has to do something with British accent and American accent. Okay, so that's why it's accepted. Either you use the advertise or advertise. Things like or horizon, things like that. There's no wrong for that, huh? But the problem is you try to mix that all the time, right? So much better if you can make it coherent or cohesive. Once you use the British, then all throughout will be British. Things like that. There's no mixing. Once you are using the American, then you use all American also. But to be honest with you, it's accepted really. Okay, it depends on the listeners, okay, or the one who will ask questions for you in the interviews or whatever. You get the point? Things like that. Okay, number 19. Oh, this towering, right? Okay. Number 19, we have. Ta-da-dang, ta-da-dang, ta-da-dang. Okay, very beautiful. Very beautiful. What's that? Okay. Very beautiful. This is gonna be exquisite. Okay. Exquisite. Okay. Exquisite. Exquisite. What is this? Very beautiful. Then you will say very impressive or very pleasant, right? Okay. That's why you will say also, oh, exquisite food preparation or exquisitely prepared food. Okay, you use as an adverb also exquisitely. You get the point? So all this here will be used also sometimes as an adverb. It depends on how you make a sentence. You get the point? Okay. That's why it's more elegant to hear or eloquent to hear using adverbs a lot because it's very difficult to use, guys. Really. Okay. To use adverbs are very difficult to construct. It needs a lot of connectors and conjunctions to do that. Okay? But noun, verb, adjectives are very easy to construct in a sentence. Get the point? Things like that. Okay, that's exquisite, very beautiful. Okay, got the point. Now we have here very sad. Okay, what is very sad? Okay, I was really very sad. But avoid that one. You need to use one word only aside from using, oh, I was very sad yesterday. So you'll say, oh, I was distraught yesterday. I haven't, or I hadn't, past tense, I hadn't finished my assignment. Okay, you got the point? Things like that. Be careful also, guys, when you use had, huh? Had is a helping verb in the past. Had. And you say hadn't, meaning had not. You get the point? Contraction of had and not. Be careful also because if you pair hadn't to a verb, your partner verb has no D in the end. You will say, I hadn't finished. That's wrong grammar. You will say, I hadn't finished. It's not past participle action verb. You will pair that. Be careful. When you use had as a helping verb in the past, your partner of that particular helping verb will be the present form, not the past participle. You get the point? First of all, I did sing like that. You will never say I did sang. You get the point? Oh, what else? I was dancing. Things like that because that is continuous tense. Okay? You get the point? You will never say I was sung. Okay? Oh, you will say, I was 8. Because the past participle of eat is ate, right? You will say was eaten, was eaten. You get the point? So be careful also because the past participle of an irregular verb will change. Okay? In the verb tenses, there's a very strict rule how to use it. Past participle would not mean all the time with letter D in the end. Okay, you got the point? So first of all, eaten, been, like B-E-E-N, like that, or shorten, okay, strengthen, okay? That's gonna be with let N ng siya, no? Mga ganon. O, sworn, warn. I sworn last night being the president of the barangay. Like that. So he has delivered the oath taking or a pledge for something that he is really the leader of the barangay. Sworn, SWORN. Okay, sworn statement, like a commitment, things like that, or a consensus that he will really act as an active leader in that particular barangay. You get the point. So things like that. So very sad, distraught. Okay, spelling. D-I-S. I-shout out pala sa our oldest sister, Ma'am Ana Bacalso, who is a public school teacher in Sepok Elementary School. She is very, very good at spelling. Okay, in her elementary, she went in spelling contest, my oldest sister. Okay, in the Division of Cebu competition. Things like that. Okay, shout out, Manang An. Okay, so she's very good in spelling, really. Okay, you get the point? Distro. Okay. Okay, number 20. Things like that. Okay. Distraught. Distraught, meaning very sad. Okay. Now we're going to very comprehensive. What's this all about? Okay. Very comprehensive. Okay. What's comprehensive? Meaning detailed, right? Detailed. So you will say explicitly. Okay, explicitly. Okay, like that. Junjun discussed English language explicitly. That there's no questions after his discussion. Okay, meaning to say explicitly, in full details, with no confusion at all. The audience, this is purpose of discussion only. I'm not saying it's really true. For the purpose of discussion, okay? So there's no room for questioning, doubt, like that, and everything. You get the point. So very clear, okay? Detailed, like that, okay? So nobody will be confused after things like this explicitly. So meaning very comprehensive, or shall we say very detailed. Okay, that's explicitly. Okay, you got the point? No. Very happy. What's this? This is very common, right? Very happy. But very happy, guys. It's not really mandatory to use this. This is only an alternative and an option because there are also some will be used according the same for this. But this is really the requirement in say like that. But it doesn't mean that you are wrong already if you don't use this. You get the point? Ganon. Okay. Very happy meaning ecstatic. Ecstatic. Meaning ecstasy. Agony and ecstasy, right? The opposite of agony is ecstasy. Meaning agony is a suffering. Okay? Meaning you suffered from Monrose. Oh, Monrose? Monrose or Morose? Okay, review that in the dictionary. I heard that about in the past, morose or morose, things like that. But it talks about agony, meaning suffering, like that, pain, like that. So very sad, like that. Okay, ecstasy meaning happiness. Okay, you get the point. So being ecstatic. Oh, I was so ecstatic for today to do my vlog. So to say I'm very, very happy. Okay, get the point? Oh, ganon siya. And there's also a extremely word for this equivalent, which is the euphoria. Okay, the extreme happiness or the absolute happiness, things like that. That is euphoria. You get the, oh, I was at euphoria yesterday because I won the lotto, things like that. So superlative happiness, you get the point. So it's gonna be ecstatic. Okay, number 23 we have here. Okay, very patient. Okay, very patient. Okay, what is very patient, by the way? What is very patient? Okay, you need to use another word for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ta-da! You're gonna use persevering. You need to persevere, things like that. Okay, so you have the quality of being patient. Okay, once you persevere, then you have an enormous patience. Wow. Yes, okay. So it's gonna be like that. Okay. So any questions so far for this very, very, very? Okay, you need to avoid this in our essay. If you join an essay writing competition, or if you face an interview like that, or in a training, avoid this very, very all the time. Oh, I'm very, very like this all the time. Very, 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 very. There's no other terms that will support the noun. Okay, think of a word that is only one form. Okay, straightforward, rather than always saying very, 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 very. Okay, get the point? Ganon. So we have also very powerful, compelling, but we have also very strong. I add something. What's very strong? Okay. This is gonna be robust. R-O-B-U-S-T. Robust. Okay? Very strong. O, diba? Any questions so far for this very, very topic? I hope you like this, and you can comment down below in the comment section if you want. And bye-bye for now. God bless everybody. Remember that Jesus loves us. Bye-bye.